Welcome to another video. This is my Anafenza, the Foremost Tiny Leaders deck. I have not played this deck yet. I had just built it yesterday. It will be played in a couple days. I wanted to build a Tiny Leaders deck just to try it out. Now the thing about this deck, if you probably can't tell, but all of these cards are printed. I haven't bought these cards yet because I am trying this out. This deck actually costs around $50 if you buy it out now. So that's a pretty good price. And I'm going to find out how well it does. But we'll start with the commander. Well, actually, if you're not aware of what Tiny Leaders is, it's a format of commander in which you have a commander and all of your spells have to share the same colors as your commander, and you can only have 50 cards in your deck instead of 100, so it's 489 plus your commander. And the thing about Tiny Leaders is every spell has to have a converted mana cost of 3 or less. Neat thing about that is if you have an X card, so it's like 3. If it's just 3 and X, that's still a 3 converted mana cost. So you can have X cards are really valuable in this format. So, Anafenza. She's a white, black, green, 4/4. When she attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on another tapped creature you control. If your creature card would be put into opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. I am being invaded by the cat. You'll notice about this card, it's probably not the usual card that you would get from Amazon or something like that. This is a special art one that I printed. I just liked the art, so I'm going with it. Ajani, Caller of the Pride. Put a +1/+1 counter on one target creature. -3, target creature gains flying and double strike in a turn. And -8, put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens on the battlefield where X is your life total. Unmake. Remove target creature from the game. That's just such a nice 3 cost. Jungle Hollow. Glissa the Traitor. First strike, Death Touch, 3/3. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you may return a target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. There aren't a ton of artifacts in here, but there are a few noteworthy ones, and having that first strike Death Touch is really just what makes it worth it. Savala Explorer returned, 2/4. You can tap it for Parlay, and each player reveals the top card of his or her library. For each non-land card revealed this way, add a green to your mana pool and gain 1 life. Then each player draws a card. That could be nice if I'm kind of running low. There's a forest. Putrefy with really, really special art. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Can't be regenerated. I really like that art. It's really cool. Immortal Servitude. Return each creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That can be really nice. This is what I was talking about, the converted mana cost plus X. Since everything is 3 or less, I can choose 2 or I can choose 3, but the maximum I'm paying is 3. Doesn't matter, and I'm getting all that stuff back to the battlefield. Isolated Chapel with really special art. I love it. Fiend Hunter. Enters the battlefield, exile another target creature. When it leaves the battlefield, return that exiled card to the battlefield that owner's control. Armillary Sphere. Just in case. This is kind of had lying around, but I just sacrifice and search for 2 basic lands. And then, if I have Glissa out, I can get it back. Swords of Plowshares with super special art. It's a 1 cost white. Instant. Target creature is removed from the game. Its controller gains life equal to the creature's power. It's just, the art is really special. Mortify. Destroy target creature enchantment. Forest. Gaze of Granite. Another X. Destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X or less. Anafenza Kintree Spirit. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, bolster. Orlog Basilica. Death Grasp. Deals X damage to target creature or player, you gain X life. Spear of Heliod. Creature you control get +1/+1. I can pay 3 and tap it and destroy target creature that dealt damage to me this turn. Silencio Sanctuary. Hardened Scales. If one or more +1/+1 counters be placed on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are placed on it instead. That many +1. So that's awesome. So I'm doubling it +1. It's great, especially for a 1-cost enchantment. That's freaking fantastic. Yeah. Gift of Orzhova. Creature gets +1/+1 flying and lifelink. Swamp. Duress. No, this card looks really weird to this art, but I like it. 1-cost sorcery. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and that player discards it. Grand Abolisher with super neat art. I like this art a lot. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Planes. Abzan Ascendancy. When he enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 white, or +1. Put a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying onto the battlefield. Chosen by Heliod. I did this mainly just to draw a card, but also gives a creature toughness. And stacks with ethereal armor. Enchanted creature with +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and has first strike. Kemba Ka Regent. You can't really tell, he's a 3-cost up there. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 2/2 white cat creature token on the battlefield for each equipment attached to Kemba Ka Regent. Command Tower with probably the coolest command tower art I've ever seen. Despise. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker from it. That player discards that card. Masako the Humorless. You play Masako the Humorless anytime you can play an instant, so it has flash. Target creatures you control, or tapped creatures you control, may block as though they were untapped, so essentially gives your creatures vigilance. Souls of the Faultless. Defender, 0/4, and whenever he is dealt combat damage, you gain that much life, and an attacking player loses that much life. That's just a really nice deterrent. Sign in Blood with some neat art. Sign in Blood is target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. And it is a sorcery, I believe. Sandstep Citadel. Abzan Charm. Exile target creature with a power of 3 or greater. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. Smother. Destroy target creature with a converted mana cost 3 or less. It can't be regenerated. Guess what? Every creature is going to have a converted mana cost of 3 or less. It's a little secret there. Planes. Read the Bones. Scry 2, draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. Castigate. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. Remove that card from the game. That's just nasty. Treasure Find with some really interesting art on it. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Treasure Find. Zealous Persecution. Till end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1. And creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. That can be devastating against token decks, and since this deck's kind of built around counters, that's kind of really good. So that is my Anafenza Tiny Leaders deck tech. I will notify if any updates, something like that, but I think this deck should work out really well. Thanks for watching.